Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Guile treatment. I've gotten some news this week, finally, about the upcoming set. I guess it's what it's titled Libra of Souls
Yeah,
for the new Soul Calibur.
I think the
Uh,
people have been calling it LOS, and I actually thought it was called League of Sorrows. I didn't know who was talking about it. Someone goes something LOS. I'm like, what? The League of Sorrows? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sad this is coming out pretty soon. So wish it was like another month. I don't care. Come out in
uh,
December. I don't give a
um,
shit.
but yeah, it is not going to be coming out at the original release date, which was November 1st.
Yep.
It looks like it's pushed back 3 weeks to the 22nd. So pre-releases will be the 15th.
Which is
That is the weekend of
Yep.
the Indie PTC.
Yep.
And they're talking about the player kit deadline will be right after Nationals.
Yep.
So that's basically a repeat of Seventh Cross, which the kit was due like the day after Worlds. And I know that when that happened, it definitely hurt sales. There's plenty of people who I talked to who said that they didn't order it because, they didn't have the money at the time because they had just spent it going to Worlds. I would expect there to be a similar issue with this because people will have just paid to go to Nats and they have holidays coming up.
I also can probably say that sales are probably going to be unless we get information about what's happening in the next half of next year.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised this is the lowest selling set of the year.
Oh, I mean, yeah, in terms of it's the fourth set.
Yep.
So people are probably somewhat tapped out financially for this anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be coming out right after a major. There are no majors for the rest of the year, so realistically, there's two PTCs, which are going to be right after that.
Yeah.
And then we have no idea about any events. We don't know what's going on with Worlds next year. So just with how much unknown there is, I wouldn't be surprised if there were a lot of people that basically just sat back and went, you know what, I don't need to buy this set until I know I need to buy this set for something. And so, we'll see. We'll get spoilers. I mean, maybe there'll be some stuff that's cool enough that people just say, you know what, I'll pre-order it just to have these cards.
I think at worst
I'll get
case,
to use them at some point.
But you pick up 2 boxes to grab commons, uncommons, and some rares, and then you can, if there's a character that really tickles your fancy, you just singles market it. I guess that's what I'm doing. I'm just gonna pick up Amy stuff. That's all I'm gonna do.
I think it's the same thing where it's if there's a Chase Ultra Rare, maybe you just go and try and trade for it, or try and grab stuff for it.
Depending on what you want to do.
Well, I think what's cool too is that this set rotates Endines as well, and obviously we not knowing what the next kind of if rotation stays the same or what that's going to look like for the next coming year. I think people will just start cycling those out of their decks, if anything, if they choose not to really buy into this set. But yeah, I agree. There's the competitive season usually ends when Nationals happens, give or take a few PTCs. And so I don't think a lot of people are kind of jumping the gun on this one, especially because the set, it not only is being pushed, but it's the weekend before Thanksgiving. And so I'm not sure a bunch of people, I think to most people that's already the holiday season, and they're probably not going to want to be investing even in drafting for the event.
I think worst case scenario, you play the pre-release and then maybe grab a box or 2 singles. Like Rob said, there's no major after that, and then you have let's just guess that Worlds is in May like last year. You have all this time to pick up those singles from that set. So
right.
Where if you know everything in UFS, it starts super high and then it just drops catastrophically 2 or 3 months afterwards, unless it's a Chase Ultra Rare or Rare, So
I think honestly, once we see more spoilers, I think it's really going to be, unless there's a couple characters that really just tickle your fancy and you have to play them.
Yeah.
Because presumably they will play, they will want their own support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would think it's probably going to be a single set for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So. Which, granted, that might mean that singles are more expensive just because there might be less in circulation.
Sure.
But, we'll see how it goes.
Sure. Outside of that, we haven't gotten a whole lot of news for MHA stuff for the people listening for the MHA format or MHA cards. We haven't got nothing. I've been in contact with the community people not at Jasco, but just in general, and everyone's really frustrated that here we have a lot of stuff at Gen Con, and we know this stuff's coming. We know that we keep getting told on the Scout page, information is coming soon, all this stuff. It just comes to a point of like, well, when is it coming? I'm not trying to make this a negative Nancy episode. I'm just trying to get stuff off my chest, I guess, because it's bugging me and it's bugging other group leaders. It really is, because people are asking questions. Pre-show, we talked about how people were asking us three questions. Well, do you know when this stuff's coming out? What's happening? Do I invest in this set? What am I supposed to do? And all we can say is wait and see, which seems to be trademarked right now. So
people don't like that answer.
People don't like that answer. People want answers. And I hope with Ryan Pham coming in to town for the Kenosha PTC, I may be able to bend his ear a bit and see if he has anything he can share, because there's some stuff he can share, some stuff he can't share. So I'm not going to betray his trust and have him, I don't want to do that because that's not right. But, yeah.
I mean,
for people listening on SoundCloud, I'm raising my arms to the sky and shrugging. You can't see us, but you can definitely feel it coming. So
I mean, that's the thing is, like, I've sort of, I guess, done my best to sort of refrain. I mean, I feel like for the past really like month or two, I mean, I could have come on every week and just been like, what's going on with the judge program? What's going on with like the website for, the new game? What's going on with, any number of things, release dates, events next year, like formats, like
I would definitely to have
there's so many balls
already
that are in the air right now, and like, we just have like no information, and like honestly, that's kind of like the standard. And I know that, every time you talk to like the Jasco people, they're like, we're just like really, really busy, which I'm sure is true. Like I'm honestly, I think they're like wildly understaffed for what they want to undertake next year. So like, I don't know if that will change. They've always sort of run with the skeleton crew. But I mean, I think part of it is they're swamped. I think part of it is, I believe Jason had like surgery. So like, I'm sure he's been even more out of like commission than he would be just with like all the work that he has.
Yep.
But yeah, like it's just kind of one of those things. Like it's pretty easy to devote, 30 minutes to typing up something to just like keep people like sane.
Yeah, because once like if any rumors slip out or anything, then people just take it and they run with it, and you have no idea. Yeah. What's up?
What would even a write up saying that there is no information be better?
I mean, that's sort of like an announcement of an announcement. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I guess that at least acknowledges that they know people are wondering, but I feel like that's the kind of thing, like, if you don't have anything to say, like, why bother? But at the same time, like, you should have something to say, Like, I mean, Gen Con was in August. It's been, like, mid-August? So it's been almost a month and a half, almost 2 months.
Almost 2 months.
And, like, there really has been almost no mention since then. And, like, that's the thing is, like, for the people who already play, we're distracted by Yu Yu Hakusho. We got another set coming up. We got a major coming up. So, like, it doesn't matter as much for us right now.
But the MHA only
for
people.
Anyone who, like, heard about it at Gen Con, and it's just kind of like, oh, well, like, what's going on with that My Hero game? There's nothing.
Well, I mean, like, to be fair, I know, like, the Metamaniacs guys in the Dakotas, they are hopping in with UFS. So they're at least... there are some people out there who hopped on with MHA who are trying this UFS branded game before the Universe's kick hits. So not everybody's maybe in that boat, but for those who are in the boat of just waiting for MHA only content or format or cards, they're kind of stuck out in limbo, and it's I don't know.
I mean, they already said that it's not coming out till next year.
Well, true,
so,
but don't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but like even with a Kickstarter that's not coming out like a year in advance, you're still getting updates every like month or 2 or 3 weeks saying, "Hey, this is happening. Here's some sculpts. Hey, the rules are getting finalized. Here's some art." Like they could throw us a freaking bone here.
Just like a trickle of like info to get people like interested.
Yeah, man, just some breadcrumbs, dude. Just some breadcrumbs to follow us back to a website.
Yeah, I definitely think like the hype has died down because there's no information, and like the hype will only ever come back if there is information.
I mean, the worst thing you could do is just have the game come out and someone forgot about it, and they're just like, man, remember that game? Like, when does that come out? It's like, that came out last month.
Can I make a comparison? There's this Fox X-Men movie called The New Mutants that's supposed to be coming out. It was supposed to come out 2 years ago, and then it got pushed back to a year ago, and now it's in limbo. I thought it came out last year, and no, I am mistaken. It has never come out yet. It is completed and finished, and it's still sitting on the shelves at Fox Studios waiting to come out because it just keeps getting pushed back because of the whole Marvel buying, Disney buying Fox, whatever. But it's just people, like, I was hyped for that movie. It was a mutant X-Men horror movie. It looked awesome, and now it's just like, whatever. Now I don't really care if it ever comes out because it's just not out and there's no information on it. So you kind of make a comparison, if you will.
I briefly talked about this before because I've played Dead Bushiroad games in the past, and the number one thing that has ever happened to Bushiroad games when they've come out with a fresh new product and it dies like half a year later is strictly because, I will 100% believe this because I played both of them, strictly because marketing and the voice of the game disappeared. Whether that means that there was no talk about competitive play, whether that means that there was no support for it outside of local playgroups and they never got to mingle with each other. So if your local playgroup died, the game disappeared for you. And then just like that, sales disappear. And then they make an announcement and the game's dead.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely starts by not communicating.
But the issue is, I believe this is kind of business as usual. Usually we don't get told anything until like the last minute. And I think someone said on Discord, well, I wouldn't expect any nonetheless to get information the week before the set comes out. And
right. And the thing is like, if
not to harp on the Discord being toxic all the time, but it's just I think a lot of the people in there are just kind of just they're old
but
salts.
The thing, like, so. And the thing is, if we as UFS players that have already been playing this game are used to that kind of treatment or whatever, or the release schedule, that's fine. But the point is that this is supposed to grow the game.
Yeah.
And if those people coming in aren't used to that and don't like that, they won't play.
Yep.
And then it's just the same old, right?
But I also believe what Rob's saying is that they're completely swamped, but it takes 5 seconds to write a post. Like you can do it when you're taking a poop.
I mean, it's bad for store owners too. You know, I mean, like store owners want to be able to like set aside time to run events. They want to be able to like, know when they're going to order product to have it on the shelves.
On like, that, there was a post in the...
Like, like you said, like, I mean, we're getting questions, right? And like, I don't own a store. You guys don't own stores. Like, you might be sort of like the veteran player for your
TCG players don't count. Huh? TCG player accounts don't count. That's not real stores.
But But yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, for anyone who's, like, a premier store, I mean, their players have to be in. They're like, hey, what's going on? And, like, they don't know.
We had a guy asking about event schedules and stuff like that on the Scout page today. And about dates.
The number one to comment right after it was like, no news, dude.
I was like, no news. And then someone else had posted that on another, and same thing about it. I believe one of the Metamaniacs are asking because they want to plan on events and pre-releases and store orders. And I'm like, probably won't hear anything until I forget what I said. Something about there's no news right now. Nothing. Who knows? We don't know when it's coming out. My best bet is it's going to be the weekend of Indie PTC because that's just the way things have gone this year. And then
it's the weekend after the Indie
PTC. Well, yeah, but as of the time I guessed that. But then Alexander St. Louis came in and it's like, well, next year for the PTC schedule or event schedule.
I got a text message from somebody saying, do I buy the set?
Oh, man. Crazy. The event schedule next year will have blacked out dates saying that those, I guess, will be the proposed release dates of the sets next year. I'm doing air quotes for those listening on SoundCloud. So,
does that matter, though? Because
because
like, if they blacked out the release dates for these sets, and you would have missed every single one.
Yeah, and then you push back the release date and have the events change their dates? No, it's just
having worked at the LGS, and Chris, I know you are close knits with yours as well.
Yeah.
Changing release dates are some of the hardest things to do to game stores, because the fact of the matter is that a lot of people don't pre-order product. Like the majority, if you have a player base of like 8 people, maybe one or two of those players
will wail out
product.
Yeah.
And pre-orders don't matter if the release date changes unless the person wants to like back out, essentially, because they 100% can.
If well,
like my product at the time, and the store has to give their money back because the product changes.
To be fair, my store takes 20% if someone wants to take back. It's kind of like, because if people don't want to cancel their order, but their order's already placed, then the store's responsible for those boxes. So they keep, if you cancel your order before pre-order cutoffs are done, before the order is actually placed, you get your money back. But if you cancel after cutoffs, then you should expect to not get all your money back, because then you're leaving the store hanging with 6 to 8 boxes of product. But like what Barrett said, you got to think in a small group of 8 to 10, you may have 1 to 2 whales. Whales, for those who don't know, whales are people that buy heavy to begin with. And then we have little dolphins who buy a little as they go. And then we have minnows who just get stuff from price support.
The pack scrappers.
The pack scrappers. You got that right.
But regardless that it's rough, because local game stores, card game businesses in general, they take their profits and they immediately shift it to a new thing. It's not like margins for card games are incredibly small. So like you take this little bit and you're like, all right, we push it to this next product that's going to be popular and sell. Mm-hmm. We take that money, and throughout the course of it, we're making a little bit of profit and improving the store, obviously. Or being able to like, oh, we bought 1 case, let's buy 2 now, and like, it all moves, and we move that product and we can buy another thing. When something like this occurs and there's no information, you have a bunch of these players that are willing to throw their money at you and they can't. And then it's rough, because then you have to find something else that gauges their interest. And if there's nothing that gauges their interest, then your store loses money.
Yeah. So I know that my store is going to come up to me and ask me, well, how much of the Soul Calibur set should we get? And I'm going to be honest with them, but like, I don't know, because I just don't know. Like, I may split the kit with Trent because it's only 3 boxes, and that's not that bad for a set that I don't really want a whole lot of. And I can just trade him the stuff he wants, and I get stuff off of him that I want, and blah 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 blah. And we go around and just throw cards at each other's faces. So, but yeah. Anywho, so we're not trying to be sayers of doomsday. We're just be smart with your money in this set, guys. That's all I'm gonna say. Is just be smart.
It's also holiday season.
Yeah.
And
take care of your family first, man.
A very bad gambling habit. Just ask Miles. I wasn't able to see. I'm kidding. But I'm being serious. Like, if you are wanting to like be ready and invest into this MHA, like I've got a local player here, and he's like, I'm buying like 2 cases of MHA when it comes out. I'm like, dude, good for you, man. He's like, so what does that mean? He's like, it means I'm not buying anything else.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
That's good, dude. Like, you do what you want to do. So just be careful. It's holiday season. Take care of your family and friends first.
Yep. Send your favorite podcasters some gifts for Christmas. That'd be great. Yeah. That'd be awesome. We accept all gifts. We love you guys.
If people send me cool stuff, I will happily open a P.O. box.
You can just send it to me and I'll ship it to them. It's all good. It's all good. But anywho.
I will say, though, that like for those that are interested in buying this next set, I think it does look really cool.
It does look different. It's something we can go into. We haven't really talked. We're not going to go in depth into the previews because we're getting our own cards next week. So I want to save up that. But I don't know. They do look different. They're kind of like Astaroth isn't as unique as Voldo is. Voldo is quite unique as a character design, I'd say.
Right. And I think in the past, the more unique characters are the more difficult ones to play. Voldo especially, I think, will be a more difficult player cap to play.
Mm-hmm.
But his play style is definitely something different that I feel like even across the symbol identity that they stick with all the characters, his is definitely really specific, which I think is really cool. People have already been theory crafting with him and like the Legendary Wolf chat, which I think is really cool. We got his foundations today. We'll get some of his attacks tomorrow, I assume.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure they'll share some more stuff with us on Thursday and Friday. So I think they look really cool. But yeah,
me personally, I'm not a fan of either character they've shown so far, but that's just me. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I have Cole Khan on the brain, so it's just my issue and my own fault. So I am loyal to a fault to a character. But no, they both look like Barrett said. Like, they look interesting and fun. Like, I guess to try them locally or something like that, that'd be great. Prove me wrong. That's all I gotta say. Is if I think Voldo isn't that good, so prove me wrong. That's all I'm gonna say. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of Voldo is just about like you're gonna really have to dedicate some stuff to just setting it up where your opponent has a choice, but they don't really have a choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like with a lot of effects, if it's sort of like do this, if whatever your opponent like chooses, like your opponent's always going to choose something that like
does not
is whatever the worst case is for you.
Yeah.
Right. So like obviously you're going to have a situation maybe where they're like, oh, pick up that attack, or that attack will make me discard, and you're like, oh, good, like I have 2 copies of that, idiot. But there'll be plenty of other times where they're going to pick something that you don't have, and then they're going to tell you to pick up something else, and it's something they have.
It's the cool part. Like, under each of his symbols, you get to do like some really interesting things. Because like under chaos, like you always are now going to have like redemption and stuff like that, and you're like, well, of course your opponent's going to make you pick up a redemption, but they're like, oh, wait a minute. That means every other attack they have gets 2/2, and like you're gonna block the redemption. If not, they get the momentum. And at the same time, like, or it's just like, yeah, dude. Every time you play a redemption, like you make me discard a card, right? And you're like, okay, well, it's a 3 diff, so that's pretty easy. But like, it's other things to where like, I think it's been pretty much confirmed across Death and Chaos. You have Dita, Delamento, and Skull Barrier, and those are you play the card when you block with it, and then you play the card when you play it as reversal. So if your opponent ever picks that for your response, they're probably dumb, and they probably deserve to lose that game.
Idiot.
But like that is a really like like you're like Dita, sure, you can have that Dita back, like like for like a weak card to put back in their hand. The biggest thing I was looking at for him was like he's a 7-hander and he has the death symbol, so you can do the whole death destruction package.
Yeah.
And pretty much almost any of those attacks in your deck are really strong. And so they're like, oh, let's see, do I give you Shotgun, Spirit Gun, Guild Seeker? Oh man, those are all rough.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose foundations, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's one way to do it, but there's a ton of stuff. You can also just go Void and be like, do huge like turbo discard kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So,
yep, I'm hoping that we get Amy cards because that's what I asked for. So, but I was told I hope you like your cards because he picked out specific ones for us. So I appreciate that. We'll get them next week on next week's episode. For those on SoundCloud, we'll definitely read them over. Unfortunately, you won't get to see the cards because obviously you'll be listening to it on audio. So whatever.
You can just post them on Facebook whenever you post the episode, obviously.
Yeah, but the issue with the SoundCloud thing is I post to SoundCloud early, so if people listen to
they can look at them afterwards.
Yeah, there you go. Whatever. Conundrums of time and space, I guess. So. So there was you got anything else?
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, before we get like too far moved, there was a PTC this past weekend.
There was.
You're right.
In Jenks, Oklahoma.
Oh yes, Jenks.
I have the lists.
Yeah, we have Ryan Pham was kind enough to send us the deck lists of top 8. We're not gonna dive deep into them. We'll go over some high points.
We will give credit where credit is due.
Correct. We're going to go over points first before we go into that. So it was a rough week for us at the Guile treatment on picks. Shocking. Rough week.
We even lost diversity. We lost diversity
to the guests. Tim Keefe, good job on you for picking that one. Funny thing is, though, each of us did have at least one, except for Barrett, because Barrett didn't.
Yeah. All of you had both of yours in top. I only had one.
No, there was no X this event, so I only had one. But I had 2 Yoshis fighting to get in, so I was just like sick. And then Raptor fell off, and then you didn't have anybody. Then Yoshi died, and Reason why Tim Keefe picked Super Skull Man is because someone messaged him about him earlier in the week, so that's why he picked that. So he has inside info. So it didn't help him, but I got attendance. So at 17, because there was 19 or 20, I believe. I forget. So.
It was 19. It wasn't 20.
Yeah, okay, it was 19 because Rob had picked 21, and he was sad about it. And then Guest got the one diversity. So as points stand currently, Rob is in first with 19. Barrett is in second, 16. I have 15. I'm coming up fast on you, buddy. And then guests have 9. So as a pity party helper, we're letting the guests have 2 sets of picks this week. So hoping you guys can catch up. Maybe. Not really. In the contest to win absolutely nothing. Except for bragging rights, which means everything. So, anywho. So, first place. The dreaded monster from Yu Yu Hakusho finally won something, eh? That Kuwabara. With Joseph Atkinson playing Kuwabara. I found it, don't understand, like, the 4X fatality, but I may be stupid.
I 100% understand it.
You let me know why.
He is a deadlock master. He is very good at going to deadlock.
Okay.
The most interesting thing I think about this list is that it was not playing Sword Get Longer, and that card is incredibly swingy. Like, you play that pretty early, plus playing Swimming Birds in your deck in the water build, like, that card can go. Like, it actually... Like, I really didn't like that card when it first came out, but in Kuwabara, that card is crazy.
Sure.
But, so the fatalities are basically just an auto backup option, as well as I can sit here and shut down characters that have, like, to do with discard pile, as well as I can bank them for later, and they can't do anything about them. So that if I ever hit my opponent to desperation, which is pretty easy, I don't know why, a lot more people are willing to take about half their vitality nowadays.
You're right.
And, against certain matchups, it's just easy. And because you can bank them later, get your opponent to deadlock, and you just play them, and you can win the game.
Oh, sure.
Most Kuwabara lists I've been seeing are only playing 2 fatalities, but 4 of them is fine. Yeah. I think he was doubling it up as just, like, momentum. But the thing is like, the only... Like, there's not a lot of momentum outs in the deck. But you can tell, just even on the foundation base, this is a stall deck. Like, this is a... Like, I'm not going to turn to you necessarily unless I see, like, triple air ground smash.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's just playing Kuwabara and playing a long game.
That 4 Journey West, buddy.
4 Journey West,
that's it.
4 Seas and main boarded. Yeah. 4 Endless Determination to work specifically with Kuwabara. Turns his fatalities that go to momentum as face downs, which means you don't have to waste Kuwabara's ability on the fatality, which I think is incredibly smart.
Yeah.
4 toughest punk in junior highs. I'm sorry, I said 4 high Seas, man.
It's all right. No worries. You're all good.
3 main, 2 Rhythmicide fighting style, 2 Wear Lights, the Future Pulse. Like, it's a whole.
It's definitely just stall out. Yeah. Okay, moving on.
Say cool thing. 0 action main boarded, only 3 sideboarded.
Oh, yeah, that's
it. 4, 5. I'm bad.
Yeah, it's 5. Yeah. It's okay.
So they're all sideboarded, which is really cool.
No worries, bud.
Really cool.
Yeah. So Jordan Kesey playing Siegfried. I think this may be a surprise to a lot of people. A lot of people, I think, considered Siegfried on the lower end. I would guess. Where was he at on this week's tier list, gentlemen? Do you remember? I don't know where he's put Siegfried. I think it was B, maybe, because it was B or A. I don't know. Shane put a lot of people in A, and Tim put a lot of people in A, so I have no idea. But whatever. This seems to be. I don't know. Like, you got Death. I think the Death Valley Faceplant and Spinning Pile Driver are, like, pretty much staples in him, right? Like, because he can add damage, and damage can't be reduced on it due to his ability. So it's always going to be doing at least, like, 3 to 4 or whatever. And like Barrett said, nobody blocks under 10 damage nowadays. So.
Wait, I said that?
You said everyone takes, like, half their health. So, like.
I didn't take half their health. I didn't say nobody takes 10 damage.
Basically, it's like, hey, man, you know how many times I took 10 damage at the Omaha PTC? Like, all the time. It was just like, it doesn't kill me, I'll take it.
Hey, it's back. I got 24 life. Yeah, whatever, man.
It's playing the sexy kale swipe, as I like to call it, from Reptile.
Swipe?
Yeah, I like calling it kale swipe. I've always called it kale swipe.
It's all mids except for Nutcracker.
Yeah, yep. The issue is there a reptile on the sideboard? There's not. So I was really hoping that would have been sick. So, but
and Dark Cherry Tail's not a mid. That's in the sideboard.
Yeah, it's in the sideboard. It's playing.
This is heavy flip. I think this is heavy flip deck.
Yeah. Let's see here. He is also playing 4 Let's Cut Loose off symbol. So
I mean that makes sense because he builds foundations.
Yeah, he builds foundations. So yeah, you can just build it and then pick up whatever you need. So yeah,
like they probably saves them almost exclusively for defense. He's like, here's this crazy block that I'm gonna build down. So it's hype.
What's kind of weird is he's playing, which is kind of weird because I know I've been cutting copies of this from decks as overly dramatic. He's playing 2, 1 inside. So usually I start out at 4 in a deck and then I cut them down as needed. So,
I definitely always start at 4.
Yeah, I always start them out at 4. So I would. That's just pretty interesting that thought process. So
I'm actually pretty surprised by the Cool and Focused only sideboarded. Cool and Focused in Siegfried to me seems really, really free. But I guess he really only wanted it in certain matchups. Yeah, put 4 push the limit. Yeah, this is flip that deck.
Yeah.
Which I think is fine. I think it's really good. I mean, it makes it where his deep scars hurt.
Yeah. Yep. Alex Broussard as Sofitia. I believe he's played her in another event. I believe he played her. Oh, what was it? It wasn't Arkansas, was it? I think he's played her before and topped. I want to say, or maybe it was the one that Lord Raptor 2 won.
This is a shotgun deck.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, dude. Yeah, it's.
I thought Sofitia won an event.
No. Let me look. I'll look at the pages as you talk about it.
There was a bunch of people like giving her a lot of hype because there was like lists going around. I know Tim was really interested in Sofitia for a little while.
Well, I know I picked her to win an event, and then like I think she either came in second or she like won the event.
I think she came in second or third. Yeah. She came in second or third. I don't remember. But, sure, whatever.
But yeah, I mean, her thing is always right. It's like, how is she going to kill someone, right?
Yep.
Well, Spirit Charge.
Yeah, the deck is basically shotgun and moonset, and then poke you down with throws and play Spirit Charge Punch as a reversal, or to pump up more shotguns, or give 3 damage to a throw.
So we can pick them back up.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's like my deck.
Ooh, playing rescue. Playing a 1x rescue mission. Ooh, that's sexy. Like that card hasn't seen play in a while.
Rescue mission is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
The toughest part is I feel like finding like the space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's a lot of competition, but
in life because like you're playing hunts, you're playing. I like survivalists, obviously. There's survivalists in this deck as well.
It's playing Edge of Death too. Edge of Death's seen a lot of play lately too.
Yeah, Edge of Death does not see a lot of play. I'm actually more surprised over Edge of Death versus playing like Nightmare Terrors.
Also, just looked. Alex Broussard did win Lubbock with Sofitia.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, cool.
I'm not gonna sort it out. I love that card.
Yeah,
we're good.
Okay, so I know I may get a lot of flack for this, but there are some people who think passing the torch is like the greatest thing since sliced bread. Am I in the minority on that one? I think it's a good card. Don't get me wrong, but I've heard people are saying it's an instant 4 of in every deck that it can go into. And these people are going to remain nameless because I don't want to, incur the wrath of anybody.
Probably your local players. I believe it.
What?
It's probably your local players.
No, it's not my local players. No, it's not. No.
Okay. So I was like, why are we talking about this? I'm like, oh, it's in the deck.
It's in the deck. So like, I could see it as like a 1 or a 2 of in a deck, but I guess
if you're playing a deck that allows you to commit a foundation to just look for extra stuff, like I get it.
Sure.
In the life symbol, I don't get it specifically because like usually a lot of the other life foundations commit to do something anyway, and so you're like, do I want to do all this committing? So I don't know. I don't put the card like in any of my decks unless I can abuse it by like readying it.
Yeah.
Or like stacking something.
Or stacking something.
Or like stacking. So like, because it has good life and
order.
Order.
Yeah.
And so like Order doesn't have a lot of good stacking stuff. Plus you have Voice of Reason, which is probably just a better version of it. Good doesn't have any stacking stuff unless you're...
they can run Shirai Ryukon.
Yeah, play Shirai Ryukon.
Yeah.
But like usually if you're playing Shirai Ryukon, you probably have other things in the deck that synergize with it too, so you probably don't need the commit to draw.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is just a armchair quarterback moment for me. That's
honestly, to me, like the best thing for the passing the torch is like if you find yourself in a position where like your hand is gone and you're just like, you know what, like let's just get 2 cards.
Well, sure, yeah. Well, that's like, I have no bad thoughts about that. It's just if you're just playing just to have rip the extra random draw off the top, it's just like, can you find anything better? You know,
there's definitely just a lot of foundations in here though that like I would never thought I would see them in this deck. Like you have Dragon's Tail, which is a huge like aggressive card. Again, another life foundation that commits to do something.
It gets you an extra damage on partial and it gains you 1. So you know, but she's already committing your opponent's board anyways if they block it. So you know,
yeah.
Like I'm not surprised to see Reborn Human in this deck at all. That card is ridiculous. That card
honestly,
is so
Dragon's Tail to me feels like something with like some of the throws and whatever. You know, if they think they're gonna like partial it and live, and then you can just be like, nah, it's just lethal.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
English Aristocrat. That card's awesome. That card's very good.
It's an interesting sideboard too. Like, what is Puppeteer supposed to bring in?
I guess cross up.
Yeah.
What's cross up do?
I think it's like when something deals damage, like you discard one of their momentums.
Yeah. Cross up's a kind of neat card because you can also discard a momentum to draw a card and get damage on that attack. I think you get 2 damage and you draw a card.
Is that that's like an enhance?
That's an enhance on the card, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think cross up's the one where when something deals it, you discard a momentum. But
yeah.
Because I know he has another one that has like a card pool enhance, but I don't think it's this one. I think it's like one of the other ones. I don't know what all Zolt's attacks are.
They all do 1 damage when they're multiples. That's all that matters.
Yes.
It's all 1 damage. I'll pick you to death. So Aaron Young, we got close, man. Yoshimitsu got 4th. We got close. Got close for those extra points.
What is it? Is this a death build?
Yeah, it's a death build. Yeah.
I see the Mop Strike. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, Mop Strike. Okay, so I played Mop Strike after Omaha PTC.
Wait, is this? Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious about these like Yoshimitsu's because this one looks like it's more. Oh, I guess it's running Spirit Gun. Which
it's Spirit Gun. Bang is off death. Voice of Reason.
I'm more just saying like I'm surprised to see like Yoshimitsu decks that actually aren't running.
Weapon attacks.
No, the whatever it's called, the Alice card, Steel
Resurrection.
Like that just seems like it's actually good for him, but I don't know. Like I know like JJ was like running a bunch of like non-weapon stuff because he was just trying to draw as many cards as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's definitely death weapons aside from Spirit Gun. So it might just be like a meta call where he's like having that one like the selective foundation destruction is really big. And 1 less 1/1 on Face Splitter isn't really needed.
Man, Mop Strike's a beating though.
It's like 73 cards.
Mop Strike is fantastic. That may be my favorite rare of that set. It may be my favorite rare of that set.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Toguro Brothers on the sideboard.
Yeah, he's running like 2 of the asset. So
yeah. I've found to love Genkai's training more and more. I play it. That card is fantastic. I love that card. Oh,
is it the block mod one?
Yeah, it's the block mod becomes 0.
Sorry.
Well, when you're blocking, excuse me, when you're blocking, if you're blocking with Dita Delamentos on +0, and then it's pretty sick, dude. Yeah.
Isn't that just -2 speed?
It doesn't matter. And then or you're blocking with brutalities, it's who cares? It's -3 speed, but breaker 3 in your opponent. Who gives a shit? It's awesome.
But he's not running brutality.
I know, but I'm saying in my deck for this weekend, that's what I'm doing.
You know what I'd rather do? Just run good block mods.
Hey man.
Well,
not all of us
like
can
the
do that.
Guardian Slasher include. That's really about the biggest thing I really see. Yeah, you're right. Like I don't. If it is mainly death weapons, I bet you the steel reses might have been the spirit guns, and he's like, I think I just need that destruction kind of mainboarded.
Yeah.
But I guess it's one of those things like, do you sacrifice your attack lineup to not synergize when you could have just mained the Toguro brothers instead and played that extra weapon? Like, I don't know.
I mean, he was already running like a bunch of like actions though, so
this was a fatty deck too. 73 cards.
Yeah, 73 cards.
Pretty fat. Should just threw him right on top, man. Just go. If you're 70 plus, you're making multiple checks a turn. Just keep slapping that booty. Just keep putting it on there. That's all you need to do. That precedes the adult portion of our show. Chris Nixon playing Cassie Cage. She's bad. She's a bad character.
I don't know if this changed at all from his Omaha list. Without like looking at them side by side.
I don't think so. Honestly, I do not know, but I'm going to say probably not.
When I saw that he was playing the Kuwabara, like I thought that might be like kind of a bad matchup. Like, you know, you just have between Cassie's Pump and then like a Kimbo, Snakewing Sabat, or wait, no, not Sabat, Black Serpent.
Yeah.
You know, even Nutcracker, like, there's a bunch of attacks that, like, the base damage is, like, not that crazy.
Yeah.
And, I mean, honestly, like, Akimbo, if they have a Toughest Punk, like, it does nothing.
Yep.
You know, you're literally just, like, reset it, gain 3, cool.
Yeah.
You know, there's just, I feel like a lot of these, like, actually being able to pump them to, like, a scary amount of damage against Kuwabara is going to be real tough. So.
Yeah, it's the best tool that she has, especially in this deck, is Ice Dragon Seiryu and just seeing them early and then shutting down their foundations committed. But banking on that when it's only a 3 of, there's also only 17 attacks in this. I don't know if it's enough to get through the Kuwabara wall, especially the one that was that was super control. So
Yep. Next up, Josh Woods playing.
Actually, you know what?
Go ahead.
Thinking now, like this is just sort of an aside, like thinking about that Kuwabara deck.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess I'm a little surprised, like just because it seemed like he was so interested in like stretching things out that he wasn't running any Spider Suplex, and maybe it's just because it's the 2-check. But you know, like if he approaches Desperation, like being able to play that like twice and just gaining 6, like you know, that can really just start to add up.
True.
And it's a throw, so like he can always pick stuff up with like I have a sword. I assume he was running that. So
I'll page you up. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't.
No, he was not.
All right.
Probably because he wasn't going with the throw route. I don't see. I'm not too surprised.
Sorry.
Cool.
So anyway.
We're moving on to the promo character that was barely legal, as we can call him, barely legal. Josh Woods with Super Skullman 33 making his first appearance in a top 8 list since like circa 2013, 2014. I don't know the last time he topped anything. So
exists now.
Yeah, with Gagey exists. Playing shotgun.
I mean, shotgun. He's only two gauge attacks though.
Yeah. But you got like Moonset, Spirit Gun, Chaos Scissors. I am slowly respecting that card more and more after getting dumpstered on it. I blocked him, but still though. Someone just randomly threw up 2 of them. I was like, oh shit, better show him the slow block. But Spirit Shotgun seems like a good card. Moonset kind of plays into his character a bit because his character likes to debuild, so you get some extra debuild there. So kind of like how the Death debuild package, there's also still like a life kind of debuild package because it kind of debuilds them, but not as badly as the Death one.
I mean, it's also something too like.
He's Spike 1 dot.
Ooh, interesting. That's kind of cool. Yeah.
I mean, I think too with like Moonset and Spirit Gun is combined with like Super Skullman's like form. You know, I mean, you can pretty much play those like 0 risk on like on turn 2. As long as you built a foundation, like, you know, you can just throw it on top. Like, you know, you're going to check a 5, and even though you're stacking something good for them to block it, it kind of doesn't matter. Just because you're going to be able to get rid of like 2 of their foundations.
Sure.
So you know, if they like, especially if you go first, you know, like you can build like 2 or 3, and then they can build whatever they're going to build, and you're going to get rid of like 2 of them, and then like a build on top of it. So like that can just sort of like help you sort of move ahead further early in the game. So
yeah, this is good job, man. Topping with Super Skullman as soon as he's back. I see a lot of the things about this deck, and I love the life symbol. Even I just recently played it, so I would know. I have also just built Super Skullman, and a lot of the similar things this deck can do can also do under good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that because this one to me seems like a more like because of things like Iron Knuckle. If you don't see the character cards, this deck really struggles. Really struggles. Or if you play against a fatality kind of thing where it's like as soon as they hit the discard pile, they're gone, and you are stuck with that hand size. I think that's probably why Spike 1 is in the sideboard, because in some matchups, you just need to be that 7-hander, and you just need to play the deck.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I think the other thing too is like under good, you get a lot more things that synergize specifically with Super Skullman. Whereas under life, you probably found more things that synergize with Spike. Things like Kuwabara's rare foundation, because it's commit, right? And then you can do it again. So like the double ignore progressive essentially is really nice. Malfestation does it in this deck, but that's more of like an aggressive way to do it. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I get a lot of this.
Yeah, I know the biggest thing that we talked about that was just sort of like the opening of a Super Skullman, like on good, is like him with I mean, there's like a decent number of like strong 1 diffs and 0 diffs that you can run right now, and like if you go second, like you can review one of those and then just like try to hard check a like kind of what Mark Tyner was doing with Salinka.
Mm-hmm.
You just throw out the
Moon Ritual.
The Moon Dance?
Yeah, the Moon Ritual.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't just like bomb the check, you can like build a foundation for free, and like if it's you can then commit it so it doesn't count to progressive if they don't block it, which is probably going to be kind of tough because it's just the 7-speed low on like right away.
Mm-hmm.
You might even be able to get like your second character, and then after it's over, you can then stack the foundation that you got to like debuild them a little bit and guarantee a check. So like either you can play another attack or just start building from there. So like.
Sure.
That's just like a really, really strong play. And like you just have some good options of strong, good foundations at 1. Let's see, Empress of like Outworld is really good. Draw a card, then make it not down to progressive, then stack it. Even the Movie Star, like you can commit it, get like 2 extra damage. So yeah, I don't know. Like there's some strong 0s.
That's also draw, right?
What?
It's when it's committed during the enhanced step.
Right, but it has a commit ability.
Yeah, if the attack has breaker, you get to draw a card.
If it has breaker.
If you don't want to use Super Skullman, you can instead you could also draw a card, get the damage, then lose it and do stuff. Like I totally get it, man.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, just I feel like you do want to have at least some gauge attacks. I guess he does with the Chaos Scissors, but in terms of gauge, I think life is probably the weakest option.
No,
all isn't that good either, but
yeah, I think all is probably a little bit worse. Like all you get Affliction, which is a 3 diff, so you can kind of do similar things, but it doesn't build you. You need momentum for it to work. It's just already just not very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Good. You definitely get the Moon Ritual, which I think is just one of the bigger ones. And then honestly, in him, the Salinka Rare is actually not that bad either. Which is if you have 2 characters.
Oh, Dispelling Horn.
Dispelling Horn.
Yeah, Dispelling Horn's awesome.
Yeah, just because the deadlock on that card is also pretty relevant. So
All right, cool. Moving on to the biggest menace in all of UFS. I want pictures of all the Tim Keefe man. Need all the
Dude,
pictures of
I
him.
mean, I don't know. This guy, like, he lost first round of top 8. Like, I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't ban him.
Nah.
What did he lose to? He got 7th, so he lost to 3rd.
Yeah.
He lost to Sofia.
Yeah, Sofia
honestly, that doesn't feel shocking to me.
No, Sofia's really good. Like, I think she's one of those characters that she's she feels slow. Like, you have to have the mindset to play her because she's a very like what's the term? Like, not like it's like a slobber knocker. Like, she's gonna drag the game out because
I mean, the biggest thing for me is just like I feel like there's a lot of decks that rely on Nutcracker just being 8 damage.
Sure.
And,
yeah, didn't we say this too? Didn't we say this a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. We had a big thing about just like playing, female characters with defensive abilities. Yeah. Like, you're gonna just start having like decent matchups against decks that rely on hitting you with Nutcracker. So
yeah. It's to the point where like if you're especially against all Nutcracker decks, like all Nutcracker decks really do rely on that. Whereas Earth Nutcracker decks obviously have a bunch of these other tools, things like Cherry Toad, things like Missile Launcher. That might have been like the little extra push that Tim Keefe had, or like the character. But yeah, you're right. Like the fact that she can also reduce damage as well as
speed. So the thing is, like when she can just for free give like Missile Launcher or
minus
like Akimbo -2 speed, like it makes it so much easier to just block it and go, all right.
So. Check a 4, commit that foundation, please. Oh, look, it did half damage. I'll commit that foundation.
It's the same reason why Taki has a lot of legs against like Nutcracker decks because -3 speed for free on like those exactly what you're just talking about, plus kicking stuff out if you're playing foundation synergistic stuff in the card pool. Like Taki is actually a really good deck against Tim Keefe, being a female and this. But I will say deck looks really good. Bastion Stance, Power Flip. I think that's really the way to go with this Tim Keefe deck under Earth. It looks really good. Like, it's really hard to critique the deck ever.
Brian was also Swiss champ, I believe, correct?
He was.
Yeah, so congratulations on Swiss champ, Brian. Good job, man.
I actually really like the one main board Dragon's Tongue in this deck. I think it's a good idea, whereas I know Shane was sideboarding his. I like the Voice from the Abyss, even though he never played against me when I played against him. And I just love it. It's a really cool idea. The fact that it's another 6 diff that you can slam after a 5 diff if you even just don't have the foundations in between.
You just pass it for free, basically, or for commit 1, if anything.
The Sense of Moral Fusion Refusal works with him. I love One with Nature. That card messed me up in Omaha when I played against Shane. Like, that card messed me up just because, like, that's what you turn your extra cards from Akimbo into. Like that's all it is, and it's a good low block and extra damage pump. Like, it's just real nice.
Now,
it's really hard to critique this deck because it just feels so fluid.
So quick question, side note: do you think Cassie, after she loses, since you're the Cassie guy, and Rob's anti-Cassie, so you're pro-Cassie, after she loses Season Guide, do you see her moving to the good symbol more prevalently, or is she sticking with all because of things like Reborn Human?
There's 2 different appeals. I've now built Cassie under all 3 symbols now because she has more legs across more symbols ever since losing Not Over Yet. That was, like, to me, the big reason why you played all. Now, obviously, you have an extra non-prog, and you're right, and Season Guide's going to rotate soon. But so all's biggest thing is the speed of the symbol. I think the speed of all is really good. If you wanted to play any of the other 2 symbols, whether it be Earth, which still has legs because of things like Fusion Refusal existing, that deck does better with Power Flip, especially because Bastion Stance is not a bad choice for that deck either. Like this kind of appeal you can do in Cassie pretty much, and Cassie just does it differently. I think Cassie is the one where you play the good symbol because you get access to Spirit Shotgun, and that's strictly why I really think you play good only if you play Spirit Shotgun for Cassie. You can also do things like Princess Perry and her, and like Fort Nagley is really cool with her, but like genuinely it's the fact that she gets to shove in all these foundations, they benefit her, and they give you damage from Shotgun because Shotgun doesn't say attacks. you get to just play a lot more stuff that you didn't used to necessarily play in Cassie, and you do play it. So like Carrying the Legacy is one of my favorite cards of her, and that card I played in my deck and that's. But nowadays in there's no room for it because the non-progs are so much better. In the good version with Spirit Shotgun, the fact that you can just shove those in at the end, and like just swap them out for a different foundation, ready a foundation and have it ready to go, and then the Carrying the Legacy gives you 3 damage on your shotguns. Like, to me, is probably the best build. The problem with the good build is that there's very, very few good low blocks in that symbol right now, in my opinion. One with nature being one of them, but a lot of your extra cards in Cassie turn into foundations into your card pool, not necessarily discard outs.
Mm-hmm.
But she does work really well with all the really nice foundations that commit as cost under good, because you can use them and then shove them out and then replace them essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, having very few non-progs I don't think is a big deal for her in that symbol. You normally just kind of find some room for Throw It Down, and you play less around Black Serpent and Glow Kick. You usually kind of just pick one. So like for my deck, I usually pick Glow Kick because my big damage attack is Shotgun.
Sure.
The other thing too is if you're on good, you can run Refusing Jetta, which is great with Glow Kick.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
Confronting
Confronting
Jetta.
Confronting
I
Jetta.
think that too. The fact that she gives speed, then you can Confronting Jetta any attack. Like, it works. So, yeah, that was a big side tangent. But, yeah, I definitely think good is where it's at
I just
now.
wanted to know your opinion. That's all.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I definitely good. And I would have played a good build in Omaha, but then I decided on a thing last minute.
So, moving on to the best character in Standard, Lord Raptor 2.8 with Clinton Thomas. Clinton's won an event with Raptor. It looks like he added in Maze Castle for extra breaker, which is Castle's fantastic.
Honestly, I think
card.
it's just so he has something to spend momentum on.
That could also be 2. Yeah.
Like, pretty sweet when you're like, man, I have all these +0 like mid breaker 2s.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you know what? I can just make your attack me.
He's also sideboarding Purifying Chime for extra breaker. He has some Jurassic Jungle in there.
Is that the action card from 7th Cross?
Yeah, it's like breaker 2 or 3, and who cares about that?
2.
It's breaker 2 with the +0 mid block, and you can clear it on block.
It leads if you block with it, right?
You can remove it. Yeah, it clears itself.
Jurassic Jungle, that's the momentum use.
Yeah,
Jurassic Jungle's hot, dude.
Jurassic Jungle and Maze Castle are both really nice for him because, like, that's the thing is, your opponent can play the E, but you don't have enhanced steps.
Yeah.
So,
and it works really good on your defensive turns with Jurassic Jungle because he can seal throws, and that's one of the ways you can kill Raptors. You just kill him with throws. It's like, sure, he's blocking stuff, but he'll die eventually,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I love Ninja Outcast. That card's fantastic and awesome because like every good attack is like a weapon. It tells. It also.
I think he found his momentum out.
It also tells.
You know what? Okay.
It also tells X and Kurama to go fuck themselves. Just like, boop. No thanks.
Definitely helpful.
Yeah, it's very helpful. So yeah.
I mean, Showtime, helps.
The best thing I love about seeing this deck is that this is one of the biggest like foundation destruction characters like around in the meta right now, and the fact is that when you play the air symbol you get to also play against it. It's so crazy because like if play Yusuke or Jetta or whatever and you're playing the death symbol, man, and you have the count stuff, nothing. You get tactical advantage. I bet you don't even know what that card does.
Yeah, I know that. Oh yeah, that card's really good. Oh fuck! I should probably put that in my deck for this weekend.
It's okay.
It's like a 1-up. It'd be like a good spicy 1x in the deck.
5 with like 2 high blockers on.
Yeah, it's a spicy 1-up. So cool. Well, congratulations to all who topped. Congratulations, Joseph. It was much deserved. So good job getting Kuwabara on that win list because everyone was waiting for him. Everyone was waiting for him to win an event eventually. Because he was the character no one wanted to play against. Everyone.
It didn't take very long. No. I thought it was weird. At Omaha, you had I think it was like Kuwabara Bakugo that were both almost entirely standard cards, and they did so well in like the Eternal event, and like neither of them really did much during Swiss. So
maybe because this guy had to play against two of them in Swiss, and I had to beat them both.
Boom, 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 boom.
One in the last round of Swiss, so I probably not. That was that wasn't the last round. Sorry, second to last round.
Stop being so mean.
And yeah, I gotta make top somehow. Someone's gotta bite the bullet.
Someone has to. I have a voice
All
now.
right. So what do we got this week?
We have Kenosha, Wisconsin, PTC at Coliseum Games, which is like an hour away from me. So very exciting.
I know. At the start of the year, I figured this thing was just going to be dead because it's like the weekend before Nationals. I thought a lot of people would just be figuring out their travel plans, but it does sound like there's a decent number of people that are going to come out to this. So should be good.
I've been trying to ask around to get numbers, like trying to say, hey.
He says numbers. He means find out what people are playing.
He wants free points.
I don't need free points. I'll win on my own account.
The guests say first, huh?
Yeah. So I have a couple. So since the guests are so far behind, I asked two guests this week. We got Zach Burrell. He's a newer player from Florida, circa Kansas City, and then we got Chris Bromley. Asked him.
He flies into Kansas City. That's what makes him a Kansas City player.
Yeah, circa Kansas City. Yep, circa Kansas City. Well, he knows the Kansas City guys, so that's why. That's
last time.
Yeah. So, and then we got Chris Bromley from Florida. He's sending me an awesome mic stand for recording now instead of using my janky thing that everyone saw in Omaha with that awesome, really bad counterweight. He's sending me a mic stand, so that's pretty nice of him. So. He hasn't sent me his picks yet, but I got Zach's. So do you want me just to do Zach's all the way through?
I mean, we can just throw him up at the end, right?
Yeah, we can just throw him in the end. But Kenosha, it's their first PTC. I don't expect the numbers of Rockford just because it's so close to Nats, but it should be a good size event. A lot of the Wisconsin groups that didn't come to Rockford are gonna go. So that's gonna Madison, Green Bay is coming in full force. I've been told Garrison Bunnell says that I have a target on my back, so because he always wants to beat me. Yeah, we had a really good match in Rockford, so he wants to get revenge. So which is cool. I like playing against Garrison. Garrison's a really good player. So
time to not play Guile.
Yeah, hey, Guile's in D tier, bro. I don't know how he's in. Oh, sorry, C tier. Shane's listed and go down to D. He's in C tier. Guile was in B tier on my pick for Tim's list. I think Guile
really understand all these new charges we just got.
Yeah, no, man, so good. But the meta, I haven't played up there in a while, so they like to play a lot of weird stuff. Last time I was there, so
they play Goro.
No, there was not a Goro player. No, which is surprising. So, but yeah. Anywho, I hope a lot of people come out. There's going to be a stream. I'm going to stream it. I believe the store owner, Gerald, said he's going to try to stream, so I don't know if that's going to work out, but the Rockford CCG stream.
As long as there's internet, right?
There is internet. I know that. The internet is, I've streamed from there before with no problems, so we should have no issues on Saturday. Yeah. Ryan Pham's coming in. Scott's coming in on Friday. I know JJ and Mark are getting here Friday afternoon. I don't know about anybody else in the general vicinity. I asked Miles how many people were coming from Omaha. He didn't know at the time because he was cleaning his garage. So get to that garage cleaning kit. You know, even though he had like 30 people at his house the week before, he could have just conscripted all of them to do it. So, yeah. I don't know what to expect. I expect some more maybe some of the same stuff that we saw in Omaha. I'm going to say more stuff than we see in Omaha than we did like in this past week in Jenks, personally. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So what do we just do? Start with attendance?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. See, this one's a little tough. Like, I don't really know how big their local is. It sounds like a lot of people are coming, but then at the same time,
their local's about 8 to 10 people, about the same size as Rockford. Right. It's about the same size.
I'm gonna say like 27.
27 already.
Yeah.
27.
I feel like it could be in the 30s, but you know, it's just like it's tough to know like how many people are like really showing up and how many is gonna be like, oh, we said we were gonna have like 8 people, but we have like 3.
Yeah, because I know some of North Indy's already dropping out, so. So Chris Bromley said give him 5 minutes. He's all good. So
Barrett, what you thinking?
Barrett's getting his last minute call-ins to JJ.
I am. I'm trying to call JJ.
Don't you make your picks.
Wait, what did the guest say?
It doesn't matter. They go last.
I want to know what the guest thinks.
They go last.
They go last, bruh.
Wow, but you get to see? That's lame.
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna pick in the 20s anyways. They're picking low. So Zach picked kind of low.
That's host privilege.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. You said 27.
I did.
I'm gonna go 28. I'm optimistic
this
time.
Jerk.
I gotta get my points back. I'm 3 behind you, dude.
I'm going 22.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going 22.
That means the guest probably guessed 21.
No, guest number 1 said 18.
Ooh.
And then I'm waiting on guest number 2's picks. So we'll fill those in at the end. So.
See, I might get wrecked, Rob. Maybe they'll pick 29.
So characters, guests usually we go who how do we do that again? Does it matter?
It's last, and then snakes around.
So guest number 1 has Yoshimitsu as his first pick as a character.
Yeah. Chris?
I'm calling Guile because I know Mark Tyner's probably playing Guile, and I think he's a really good player, so I'm taking Guile. And plus, it fucks Barrett over because I know he knows what they were playing. So
now you just got to pick like Kodal and Jeddah, obviously, right?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Obviously.
I think I am putting Jeddah.
Thanks for that. I think
if Chris is smart, he'll play Jeddah. So.
But you think Chris is gonna win?
My first one.
Just enough to help Chris win.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I don't know why people aren't playing him. And then just so
I thought you were gonna pick again. Let's see.
Wait, don't I get to pick again?
No, Rob gets to pick again, dude. Picks. Jesus, man.
I'm gonna take Spike 1 and Janet.
Whatever the 2 options that Scott has.
Pretty much. I know at least one of those should be, played. So.
Yeah. So what you got, Barrett? What you got?
Since Rob didn't pick it, I guess I'll pick Lord Raptor.
All right, Lord Raptor.
Because if the Birch Bros are going, I don't know if they are, but
no, none of them are going. Yeah.
If they make the drive or not.
No, I know that Phil has to work, and then I don't think Nick's making it because he has Nats the next week. So, I wish I knew what JJ was playing because then I just bank on those guys.
You want to pick up? Sorry, dude.
Yeah. Well, I should have asked him earlier in the week, but
Yoshimitsu, duh.
Probably not.
I know no one. No, I would
probably Super Skullman, right?
I would pick Kodal, but no one's gonna play him because I'm not playing him, so there will be no Kodal there.
I think Super Skull is actually a good pick if all these Omaha people are going, man.
Yeah. I've been hearing good things.
I'm not even intentional sabotage. I actually think Rob, that's a good choice.
It is a good choice, yeah. But
he's not even gonna do it.
No, I'm not. No.
Charity.
Man.
Can I pick it as a third pick since you don't?
No. You know what? I'm going to go Yusuke. I'm going to think someone's going to play Yusuke. Yeah. I think he's a good enough character that people are just going to keep playing him until he wins something. So, so Zach picked for his second pick, Cole Khan. I am not.
That's why he's not actually picking him.
Well, no, he says if you're calling your own shot, but then I told him I'm not playing him. Then he sent me Tim Keefe 2, Lord Raptor, or Rando, so I'm gonna put down Tim Keefe for him.
All right,
good call.
Yeah, his diversity was 1. We're waiting on Chris Bromley stuff, so I'll fill that in later. So what do you guys think for diversity wise?
See, that
man, we got fucked. We said 0.
Yeah, we all got fucked.
That 1 is tempting, especially after last time. But I don't like. I'm gonna sort of hedge with it being a smaller event. I'm gonna go back to 0.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also pick 0.
I'm going with 1. I gotta win. I gotta get points somehow, man, and I gotta.
And now it's gonna be 2.
Probably, yeah.
My biggest competition is Rob. So as long as I pick the same number as Rob,
biggest competition? I'm sneaking up on you, bro.
But you're not ahead of me. So,
no, okay. I will jump you after this weekend then. After I win it, since you think I'm gonna win this event.
After you win Jeddah and give me points.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I'll. You know what? I'll get you. I'll take that plane ticket. If I get that plane ticket, I don't care about the points anymore.
Exactly.
That's the way it goes. So, I think that's pretty much it. The content on the website's going to slow down a bit. We haven't had a lot of articles come in. I got a couple coming up. that I gotta write. But
when the new set comes out, you get 12 from.
Yeah, we got a whole new thing with the set coming out, and then still watch all the videos on the YouTube channel. We appreciate it. We're like only a couple away from 600 subscribers. That's awesome. Thank you very much. You can check us out now on SoundCloud. If you're listening to us in audio, thank you very much. Don't forget to give us a follow. If you really would like the backlog to stay, you can donate through our Patreon page on Rockford CCG via Patreon, because that costs money to do that right now. And funds are a little tight with new sets coming out and paying for content creation and all that. So we got Chris Bromley's picks. You guys ready? Sorry, I'm cutting in the ending.
Yeah.
Here we go. He has 27 people.
Oh.
Yusuke and Yoshimitsu. Two diversities. There it is. There's your two diversities. There's your two diversities, man. Oof. This is gonna be a tight one.
Man, when he just like cleans up on all of them.
Wow. Yeah.
Split the rest of them.
So if the guests get Yoshi, that's 2 points across, and then they have the attendance, which they could possibly get a lot of good points there. So but yeah. So again, just like, follow, subscribe, share us with your groups. Thanks for listening on SoundCloud. Thanks for watching on YouTube. Next week, we will be back with our Nats preview show. We'll touch a little bit on Kenosha, but the Nats preview show is more important. Dave Wagner's already said he's going to come on. I haven't reached out. I don't know if Garrett's on his honeymoon or not, so I'm not going to bother him. So we're going to go with probably Church or Tim. So, and we're also inducting Dave into the Guile Truman Hall of Fame that day. So.
Okay.
We're going to have 3 Hall of Famers.
You can always reach out to JJ. I think JJ also complained that if he wasn't on the Nats show.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll talk to him this weekend, so we'll figure it out. We usually have like 4 or 5 people on anyways, so we can figure that out. So again, thanks again. Don't forget to watch the stream this weekend. Cheer us on. Yay. We'll talk to you later. Take care of yourselves. Have a good night. Bye.